closer than I wanted it, but I can't tell you how proud I am of our football team. We talked about playing complementary football, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that. Although there were some opportunities there to really put the game away, but you never know in this league, and you got to battle for 60 minutes, and our guys did that. I think anytime you hold a team of that caliber to 10 points, that's a hell of a day defensively. Can't say enough about Daniel Whalen, just his ability to flip the field, pin Indy deep, and then offensively, just our guys battling. 53 rushes, that's what we wanted to do coming into this game, and to be able to do that, it's one thing to want to do that, but to be able to go out there and execute that, I think that says a lot about really just all 11 out there, starting with the offensive line, but our backs were running hard, our receivers were blocking their butts off like they always do, and I don't think you guys can appreciate or even comprehend the task that Malik WIllis, this guy got here 3 weeks ago. And for him to be able to go out there and command our offense, we had a lot of long calls. We had shifts, motions, a ton of different run schemes. There was a lot put on his plate. And for him to be able to go out there and do what he did today, I think that speaks volumes of who he is as a person and the work that he's put in. Just super proud of him. I think our coaches did a great job preparing him, and just really happy and proud of our football team.
Matt, you knew the Colts would be keyed in on the run. How did you guys try to change up your looks and with some different runs to keep them guessing and keep it effective, even though everyone knew that's what you guys were going to do?
Yeah, I just think we had a variety of schemes up, and I think you got to give credit to Adam Senovich and all our coaches that kind of come up with that run plan. Just the diversity within our run game, and then the ability to put guys in certain positions, using our receivers in the running game, our tight ends blocking their butt off. Again, I told the O-line, I challenged them the other day, and we had a shaky day of practice, I think on Wednesday, and I went in there and said, hey, we're winning this game through you guys. And, I thought they stepped up.
How were you able to hold Anthony Richardson in check as well as you did and kind of force him into some of the mistakes he made?
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row where we're playing a really athletic quarterback, and I know our guys up front, they want to get those sacks, but I can't tell you how proud I am of just being disciplined up front with our rush. I know there was a couple plays he got out late, but I thought for the most part, they did a really good job up front of just being disciplined, trying to collapse the pocket in front of him and force him to make some bad decisions.
What did Willis's ability to run help you factor into, being able to put together your game plan and run it like you did?
Yeah, we didn't run a ton of zone read, but we ran, I would say, just enough. And then there was some critical third downs where he was able to pull it and move the chains with his legs. And, that's one thing that obviously again, he's an athletic guy. He's got great speed, and you could feel his juice out there.
Coach, it's one thing to set up a game plan. It was very clear what the game plan was early, but the execution of it throughout the game was pretty spot on and pretty clean game penalty-wise as well. We talked about that.
Yeah, I credit our players to be able to take the plan. It's one thing to take the plan, but it's another thing to make it come to life, and that's all on those guys. And they were able to do that, and I have a lot of respect for the Indianapolis Colts. Gus Bradley, he's one of the premier defensive coordinators in this league, and just for our guys to be able to go out there and execute. This is a very tough physical football team that we played, and for our guys to be able to do what we did, I was really proud of our efforts.
You talked about what was on Malik's plate. How did you and Steno and the staff figure out where the line was of, okay, we can put this on him, we can put that on him, without overloading him, because that would have obviously been counterproductive?
Yeah, I think that there's a little bit of an unknown going into a game, because it's one thing to do it in practice when the pressure isn't quite as high. It's another thing to go out there in front of 80,000 fans and be able to articulate the play calls. I think there was one time we had to burn a timeout because of a play call. I think that's pretty remarkable, especially considering all the movement we were doing throughout the course of the game.
You've talked about Jordan a lot, that you like his steadiness and how he never gets too up, too down. Have you seen some of the same qualities in Malik in this limited interaction with him, obviously? Did you see it this week?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think, we're just getting to know each other. We've been together for 3 weeks. But he is a pretty even-keeled guy, and I think that's, I think that's important at that position to be that way. You're never too high, never too low, and you're just consistent. And I think that's who he is as a person.
I think some of us were surprised when Eric Wilson was getting that many defensive snaps this summer. What did you think of what he's giving you outside teams, and especially today?
Well, I got to go back and look at it. I'll be honest with you guys. Like when we're in game, and I mean, you're trying to make adjustments. It would be wrong for me to say, but I do know that he's made some critical plays for us. Over the course of 2 games, he punched a ball out on that long. I think that was a long screen pass. He got the pick. Eric's just he's a consistent person. He's very regimented in terms of his approach. I think that you don't look like that if you're not disciplined. I love that Rich calls him body beautiful. So that I'm sure you guys will enjoy that. But he's just consistent. That's the best way I can describe him. And he just goes out there and executes, and he does it in 2 phases of the game. He does it on defense and then on teams as well.
Thanks for giving us that. All those runs that you ran today, were those all in your playbook with all those motions attached to them, or did you guys add some wrinkles during the course of the week?
Yeah, there was definitely some wrinkles added, yes.
I'm sure every win feels good for you, but you just mentioned a minute ago about Malik, you just getting to know him. What does today's win feel like to kind of overcome?
Again, I'm so proud of our staff, our players, just everybody sticking together, because, adversity is coming in every week in this league. And, you face it in game, you face it obviously going into the game when you don't have your star quarterback, and you just got to find a way to win, because at the end of the day, nobody cares. And it's just, this game is about winning, and you got to do it. However, you got to find a way, and our guys found a way tonight, or today.
What was going through your mind on the fumble at the goal line, and then how do you feel the team responded to that?
Well, I don't think I can articulate what was going through my mind on that fumble. But it happens, Josh he was sick. I'm sure he was more sick about it than I was. He ran so hard today, and he always does, and he's a great teammate and a great leader for our football team. What do you have, 30 carries? He put in a good day's work, I'd say. So I know that obviously it can be costly, and luckily for us, it didn't cost us.
Were you more comfortable being conservative in some spots, like at the end of the first half, because of how your defense was playing, or what was the balance there, trying to maybe scale it back some?
Some might call that conservative. I call that being smart. The guy we had 3 timeouts, or they had 3 timeouts. I mean, like I said, Malik has been here for 3 weeks. To put him in a 2-minute situation at the end of the half when you're up 10-0, I would call that reckless.
Going back to Bill's question, you got pretty high when you jumped after the touchdown to Dontavion on the sideline.
What do you think my vertical was there, Jason? 36? I don't think so, but at least 38.
I'm curious. You've won a lot of football games here in the last 5 years. This has to rank as one of your favorite wins, though, doesn't it? Given what
Yeah, absolutely. They're all great, but I think certainly, just the challenges of going into a football game without your quarterback, with a guy that's been here for 3 weeks, and it's a credit to everybody. It's a credit to our players to be able to go out there and execute and do what we needed to do to win a game, and our coaching staff for putting them in a good position.
Speaking of executing, like Steno told us, look, we can't just run the ball all game long. He came close, but Malik made the big throw to Dontavian on the touchdown. He makes the big throw to Dobbs on the big gain.
What a catch by Rome. I mean, that was a big-time catch. I mean, they both were big-time catches because I think Wicks, that ball was coming right when he was out of his break. I want to say, seeing it live, I thought he bobbled it for a second, but to be able to turn up and make that play, I thought both great plays by those guys.
Do you feel like Malik, though, was ready to make the handful of throws that you absolutely needed to
Yeah,
make?
absolutely. I mean, anytime you leave a game and you're 12-14, I'd say that's a pretty efficient day. And I know that we did some things in terms of some of the shorter passes, and we didn't throw a ton down the field. But, you know, when he got the opportunity to throw it down there to Rome, went up and made a play for him.
Your O-line, you praised them a few times today. I mean, there's Elton got sick, Josh got sick. There's a series of video of that. Just how hard was it, those guys, considering what's 80, whatever degrees out there?
Yeah, I asked Malik why he didn't throw the ball on that third down, and he told me that Josh threw up on the ball. I was like, that's the first time I've ever heard that. Matter of fact, the official came over to me, Sean came over to me and said, you know, we saw your center thrown up on the ball. Do you want us to take him out next time? I said, absolutely, please do that, because, I mean, you're talking about a critical situation, and it's third down, and I've never had a throw with vomit on a football. So I don't know. I don't think Malik probably didn't appreciate that.
You don't have wet ball drills. You're going to have, never mind.
I think we'll leave that to you guys.